Everybody, maybe we're 31 back here for FSi DFS. We actually have a big slate for a Wednesday. It's 12 games, more like a Tuesday or Friday. So I'm going to jump right into it. I'll go through like playoffs as we go through the games. A lot of things to cross off, a lot of people not playing for stuff. So more GPP, but we'll try to get you one cash line or so to get you going. Thoughts and prayers with the people in Florida. It does affect our FSI community. Some of our owners and subs live in the Tampa area. So hopefully they are all safe. Um, and let's look at some baseball here. So first game, Braves and Washington. Braves and Mets are tied atop the AL East. It's going to be a great race to the end. They play each other this weekend. So right now we have Jake Odorizzi and Josiah Gray. Odorizzi, I think, is a decent cheap pitcher, but if he starts to struggle, they're obviously going to pull him. He's not the best pitcher. He's been pretty erratic. So Washington does have some right-handed power. So wind's blowing in a little bit, 66 degrees, so that should help a little bit. But Washington's a decent hitting park. So I think Braves are the top stack on the slate for hitting wise. Washington, I think, definitely makes a great cheap leverage stack. Again, just take the power righties here. So Lane Thomas is a good table setter up there, but like we're looking at like Messes, Voit, even though he struggled this year. And I think just beyond that, maybe just a three-man stack there. So Yankees and Blue Jays, Garrett Cole and Mitch White. Yankees clinched last night. Not sure how long Garrett Cole's going to go. So very risky to play. I don't think I'm going to play him tonight. Mitch White on the other side, I don't really like, but he could be interesting in tournaments. I have him on the fade list, but just keep in mind that the Yankees might do what the Dodgers did after they clinch and throw out like the spring training lineup. So Mitch White might be super interesting in that aspect. So the Yankees are my first guy in the 150 max because, again, I think they give Judge off. They're off tomorrow. I think they rest some of these guys. They give them 2 days off, and then Yankee Stadium, then they'll start tuning up for the playoffs. They're not going to catch the Astros. Nobody's going to take the second seed away from them. So nothing to play for. Again, check the lineup. If it's a full lineup, go ahead and play them in GPPs. If not, I'm not playing them. Toronto on the other side, again, I think they just be a leverage stack against Cole. Baltimore and Boston. These two teams have put up 22 runs the last two nights. The bullpens are absolutely eliminated. So here's the thing. Kramer and Hill, I have them on my no interest list. But if you're multi-max entering at 150 max, sprinkle them in at like 3 to 5% because they might go super deep into the games if they're doing okay because there's no bullpen behind them. So they're not great pitchers. They're not high K guys at all. But again, if you're looking for like some cheaper SP2s to play in tournaments in 150 max YOLOs, then interested there. Bats obviously interested. Baltimore, because they're still playing for something. They are trying to, they're on the outside looking in of the playoff race currently. They are, let's pull it up here. They're chasing Seattle. Seattle has lost 3 out of 7. Baltimore's in 5-5, and Baltimore has a game in hand. So they play Boston again tomorrow, and Seattle, I believe, is off. So they're only 3.5 out. They're still catchable. So if one of them catches fire and Seattle continues to struggle, then that. So I definitely think that they'll put up some more runs. And Boston is trying to play spoiler here also. So I like both of them. Wind blowing out a little bit in Fenway, 6 miles per hour, 66 degrees isn't super cold, but it's not super hot, but it should be good hitting weather. So like both those in either cash or GPP. Marlins and the Mets. Luzardo not interested in. Mets are always a tough matchup. Walker definitely have a lot of interest in here, just simply because he is they're playing for something and he's been good, and the Marlins have been absolute trash recently. With like some of these new guys do have some popping potential, but it's sporadic. So the Marlins are just 150 max, if probably the last team I'd play tonight. And then the Mets, I think they'd be a third favorite. Like Atlanta, Baltimore, and Boston are my favorite stacks ahead of them, but they'd be fourth. White Sox and Twins, not touching this game. Cueto and Winder, Cueto's older, and Winders has just no strikeouts. Wind's blowing in Minnesota here. It's going to be 58 degrees, so it's just a cold, not good hitting condition. Neither one of these teams spark anything. Minnesota's cheap, at least against Cueto, so if you want to load up on some cheap lefties to make your Brady stack work, because you'll need them, I'm okay taking like Gordon and Cave. maybe even Areza, but that's about it for there. Cardinals and Brewers. Here's another great matchup here. Brewers are trying to chase the Padres, or actually it's the Phillies. They're like right neck and neck with 1.5 games separate them for the final wild card spot. The Padres are a little bit more clear. I think they're like 4 games clear of them, but again, anything can happen in baseball here. There's still some time. St. Louis has clinched. They're not. They're in the third. They're going to be the top wild card, so they just want to stay tuned up. Quintana here should be decent. He's had some really strong, solid starts recently, and the Brewers can struggle sometimes. So I think I like him at 6'7". I think he can get enough done here to really pay off his price at 6'7". So I really like him at SP2. Woodruff on the other side here, like St. Louis is still a dangerous matchup. If they come out with like I said, spring training AAA lineup, then I'm fine playing Woodruff, but he's just been erratic recently. And I think that we saw with Milwaukee last year as they got closer to the playoffs. Even though they're on the outside looking in, we'll just have to see. Again, if he starts to struggle, they're going to pull him. They've got a decent bullpen, so again, I'd rather play probably Woodruff than Cole, but I'm not super interested in him there. And like I said, like Quintana, St. Louis would be leverage stack against Woodruff. Like he has shown some struggles, and St. Louis is a decent team if their full lineups out there. And then the Brewers on the other side against Quintana, I just stick with the righties. So if we do a stack of Adonis, Perseo, Renfroe, and maybe Urias if they hit decent in lineup, then I'm good with that. Philly and the Cubs, the wind's blowing in here, 10 miles per hour, 56 degrees. Nola, top pitcher on the slate. Don't overthink it. Play him in cash. Wisniewski on the other side has had some amazing games and some amazing strikeouts recently, so I like him as SP2. A little bit more expensive than some of the cheap guys you could throw in there, but I'm fine with it in a GPP. Philadelphia, I think, is a top 5 stack, but with the wind blowing in and Wisniewski, I'm not super high on them. And the Cubs, just think would just be a lever stack against Nola, but I really don't like him with the wind. I'm probably a fade. Arizona and Houston, Gallen and Verlander. Gallen has actually been pitching really good recently, so even against Houston, I like him in GPPs. Verlander on the other side, he might be going out there just as one final tune-up game before the playoffs. He's in contention for the Cy Young, maybe just wants to show off some more. He's one that really doesn't like to quit, so I think he's decent and in play here. Arizona leverage stack, Houston GPP play. A's and Angels, Martinez and Lorenzen. I like Lorenzen a little bit here against the A's. A Martinez is a fade. Oakland, just a cheap stack. Angels, I think it would be my second favorite GPP stack because I think they can put up some runs against this young pitcher. Wind is blowing out a little bit here. Texas and Seattle, Perez and Kirby. Perez, I like. He's okay. In the medium range, just probably 4 pitchers I like better than him. Kirby on the other side, I know they've been pulling him early, kind of resting these young guys, but this is do or die time for them, trying to get into the playoffs. So, they're just a marginal lead over Seattle. So I just really don't think that they're I think they're going to leave him out there. So the offense is banged up. They need to win. So I think he's my favorite mid-range pitcher there. So Texas would just be a leverage play. Seattle, not super interested in them bat-wise either, but they do have to win. So, GPP, I'm fine with that. Dodgers and Padres, Urias and Musgrove. Urias, don't know how long he's going to go. So, again, he's risky. Musgrove, San Diego needs to continue to win here. It all depends on the lineup that the Dodgers put out there. So, I think you can play him. Dodgers, I think, just make a decent GPP stack. And same with San Diego. I think it would be my favorite GPP stack with some of the righties against Urias, but nothing like super exciting there. See, yes, I have Miami on here twice. So where would I put Seattle? I'd probably put them like in the 150 max category over here. Again, I like Seattle all season, but I'm not super fan of them tonight. Okay, so final game here. We have the Giants and Rockies. We have Urania, no. Hajeli, it looks like pitching for San Francisco. He's been decent, but he's been like sporadic also. Colorado's just been horrible. Wind is blowing out 16 miles per hour, kind of neutralized by the stadium. So San Francisco definitely makes a cheap stack against Urania, and I think they can put up some runs there. And then Colorado would be another cheap stack if you think the Rockies going to struggle. So let's look at some lineups, get you on your way for the day here. So I'm taking Nola and Quintana as my SP1 and SP2 here. Stacking the Braves, take Olsen. I'm going to take Minnesota because they're cheap to fill in. Like if you want San Francisco, whoever, you're only going to put 2,800 left pretty much if you track the Braves. So I think I'm going to choose between Swanson and Riley, Acuna, Harris, and I might actually take Rosario if he's in there and skip Swanson if I can find a secondary stack for second, third, and shortstop that works a little bit better there. And FanDuel, Nola, Olsen, again, Estrada. I'm going to take probably the Giants stack here with the Braves and give me Acuna, Harris, Wade Jr. Again, I'll take Rosario if he's in to cheapen my Brave stack. If not, I'll take one of either either take Swanson or Riley there to round off that stack. It all depends on who the Braves roll out there. For GPP, give me Galen and Wesnowski, the upside pitchers here, and then I'm stacking Boston and Baltimore. Give me the righties here: Rushman, Mountcastle, Santander, maybe even Hayes on the outfield. Devers and Verdugo taking the lefties there, and then I'll fill in with whatever value I can find for the rest of those two teams, or take a one-off if needed. Probably at second base. There's really nobody I like there, just Odor, but I think I'd rather have 5 other Baltimore bats in there. And the same thing with FanDuel, Gallon, or Wesneski, a pitcher. Rushman, Santander, Hayes potentially in the outfield there. You can do Gunnar Henderson over Xander because he hasn't been hitting much recently. Devers and Verdugo are the lefty priority for Boston, and just whatever makes it work. If you need a one-off, it's probably going to be second base again. So that's what I have. If you have any questions about the slate, leave them in the comments below. Hit me up at Twitter, MegaRuler31. I just really appreciate you all still watching this slate in baseball. We have it ends next Wednesday, so we have a little bit over a week left. So keep on grinding out and looking forward to a great postseason this year with the expanded playoff format. Should be very good. So please like the video if it helps you out. Subscribe to our channel so you know when all our videos come out, and share with your friends. So MegaRuler31. See you next time.